I love my job reviewing cars, but every once in a while, I think it sure would be nice to skip the work part and just focus on fun. Like when there's a McLaren 570S in my garage. You guys coming with me, or you just gonna hang out here in the alleyway? This is where self-interested rationalization really comes in handy. Let's see, at their core, high-end sports cars are about fun, so logically, if I spend the entire day having fun in this McLaren 570S, helpful insights should come pouring out of me. Yeah.
For quick perspective, the 570S is part of McLaren's entry-level sports series, sitting beneath the Super Series 650S and 675LT, and the P1 and P1 GTR that comprise the brand's top-tier Ultra Series.
And now with the car kind of warmed up, we should probably try out launch control. According to the owner's manual, I press active, left pedal firmly depressed, launch control, launch mode active, full throttle, that's a range of emotions. Making that madness possible is a twin turbocharged 3.8 liter V8 and aluminum/carbon fiber rich construction that helps keep the dry weight down to a svelte 2,895 pounds. Conveying power from the engine to the rear wheels is a brilliant 7-speed dual-clutch transmission that, around town, the gear changes are essentially undetectable. I mean, yeah, you can hear them, but you can't feel them. Switching the powertrain mode to sport or track adds urgency to the shifts, while manual control is achievable via this one-piece paddle shifter that allows for normal left-hand downshifts, right-hand upshifts, or you can also use just one hand and do downshifts with the back of your hand. That's so convenient. Downshift, downshift, downshift. Upshift, upshift, upshift. Downshift, downshift, downshift. While making my way through suburban Los Angeles, it's worth pointing out that the 570S makes a surprisingly pleasant commuter.
The turning circle is decently tight. With the suspension in normal mode, the ride is really quite good for a car that looks like this. Climbing aboard is no big deal. And a reasonably roomy frunk is supplemented by numerous storage nooks and nets, along with a cargo deck that, based on this emblem, might not be approved for that purpose. Heck, for a mid-engine sports car, you can even kind of see out the back and over your shoulder. So yes, daily driving your McLaren is totally doable.
Free yourself from the shackles of society, and you can bask in some of the 570S's finer qualities. Case in point, the electro-hydraulic steering is communicative in a way that's unusual for a modern vehicle. Watch as it twitches and moves, telegraphing everything that the front tires are up to. It's kind of fantastic. Actually steer the 570S, and you're treated to impeccable precision and a boldly quick steering ratio. Little movements have big effects in the best way possible. When turning, road holding is appropriately tenacious thanks to 3 mode adaptive dampers and Pirelli P0 Corsa tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels up front and 20s in the back. Brake pedal efforts are actually higher than expected, but there's massive stopping power, and really great feel makes it easy to add or release the brakes as required. Add, release, add, release. Release. Driven assertively, there's never a lack of power provided you keep the revs up. If you floor it under, let's say 3,000 RPM, there's a notable lag as the revs and the turbo boost build. But unlike those unfortunate Snapchat photos, there's an easy solution for the low rev power problem. Downshift. The engine redlines at 8,200 RPM. You've got a lot of rev to work with. Use them. One nifty trick, if you turn the powertrain selector over to track, the transmission performs inertia push gear changes, where if you're over 5,000 RPM and 60% throttle, it'll engage the next higher gear before the revs drop. Basically, the dual clutch power shifts itself for relentless acceleration, because you never know when you're going to encounter an Evo with something to prove. There's nothing wrong with speed for speed's sake, but the cars that I really love almost treat speed like a byproduct. The McLaren 570S is one of those cars. Yes, it's objectively fast, but the magic comes from a driving experience that's so engaged and so connected, I don't have to risk my driving privileges just to have fun. But if I experience some speed along the way, that's fine too.
Hand $200,000 to a car dealer, and you better depart in something special. So, is the McLaren 570S special? Hell yeah, it is. It might lack the active aerodynamics of its more expensive kin, but it does look like this. Air moves through the engine bay with the thrilling urgency of a Dyson hand dryer. Let it idle, and it looks like there's a blast furnace smelting iron ore behind the passenger compartment. There are 3 USB outlets for 2 occupants.
It has doors that open like this. Not like this, not like this, this. Ah!
While not particularly colorful, the 7-inch portrait-oriented infotainment screen is a quick-footed joy to use and conveniently includes the owner's manual, in case you forget how the suspension and powertrain modes work. And just to reiterate, it looks like this. Yeah, the 570S is special. The super special McLaren 570S starts around $190,000, including $2,500 worth of processing and transport fees. In perfectly equipped form, like our test car, that number rises to $218,000, including a carbon fiber exterior package, custom interior trim, $4,100 worth of glistening Ventura orange paint, and a luxury package that adds heated power seats, a 12-speaker Bowers & Wilkins audio system, parking sensors, and a backup camera. Honestly, those last 2 really should come standard, but I just can't stay angry at you, McLaren. Aww. Still, as with all relationships, it's important to recognize that the 570S is not perfect. The backup camera takes too long to activate, and once it does, the image is pretty laggy. It's easy to mistake the door handle for one of the window controls, and the power seat controls are in the worst position imaginable. Not only are they extremely hard to reach and operate, but outside of the owner's manual, there's actually no way to see how they're supposed to work. Even so, big picture, none of these shortcomings are game killers. Assuming you're the kind of high-end sports car buyer who only wants one high-end sports car, what else should you consider before buying a McLaren 570S? The Porsche 911 Turbo is a monstrously capable classic choice that's also quite a bit cheaper and more luxuriously outfitted. The Audi R8 has many of those same pluses without being a Porsche. The Lamborghini Huracan LP582 makes as strong a visual statement as the 570S and might fulfill some of those dreams sparked by posters in your childhood bedroom. The Acura NSX boasts a techie hybrid kind of appeal, along with day-to-day livability, and just to throw Nissan fans a bone, the GTR is similarly quick for about half the price.
The McLaren 570S is fast, expensive, and very hard to ignore, but those qualities alone do not make an exceptional sports car. True excellence comes when a car can telepathically transform a driver's intentions into dynamic bliss. That is a fancy way of saying fun. And where fun is concerned, the McLaren 570S is one of the best cars I've driven.